welcome back to another episode of Croomskie's Corner. Today I have on Chase Astorino. He is the fitness and conditioning coach for Caribou Hockey, on top of being an assistant coach for the U16AAA Cariboo Cougars. Now on to the interview, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so I started out 8 years old. I grew up locally. I played here all throughout. And then when things started to pick up for me was around 15, 16 years old. And I started out, I went to the Spruce King Spring Camp as a 15-year-old. I had a fairly good camp there. That year I didn't try out for the Cariboo program, unfortunately. Not saying I would have made it or anything, but I just think that experience would have been beneficial for me. And then I had a pretty successful season with Chris Bond as my coach there. I went on to play for they used to have a BC U17 Cup.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed now, and I went on to play on that, and I actually had Trevor as my coach there and had a pretty good overall camp there. And then things kind of opened up into the Caribou program through there on. So it was super exciting. So I played 2 seasons under the Cariboo Cougars, and I had a lot of fun. I played with some good guys. It's been exciting to definitely watch how much it's grown from the time I played there till now, and it's awesome to be a part of it now as a coach and kind of see things through a different point of view, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
As a player, you don't really understand how much effort and time goes into running these programs, and then as a coach, you definitely appreciate it a little bit more, right? So
Mm-hmm.
so it's good, and Trevor's been awesome with helping create opportunities for me. And I went on to play junior, and I had had some good seasons playing junior. Unfortunately, I didn't stick in the BCHL, but other than that, I had a pretty good 3 years in Kelowna in the KIJHL, and they actually opened some opportunities for me. They did a good job of exposing me and trying to get me that push to the next level, but just with injuries and timing, lots of doors closed quick, as you probably know from experiences with talking with other guys. So everything kind of worked out the way it did for a reason, and I'm happy they worked out the way it did, because I played with a lot of great guys and some coaches in Kelowna. I met a lot of great people. So that was good. And then for the fitness side of things, as lots of guys who have played know, and they don't have that opportunity to kind of pursue hockey. Once it ends, you don't really understand where to go from there. And
Yeah.
lots of guys haven't put much thought into it. So I want to find something that I was passionate about. And no one likes going to work and like not enjoying what you're doing, right? So that was I had some good trainers growing up, like Mike and Jay from X Conditioning. They were awesome, and I credit them for some of the passion I've developed for training now. And I learned a lot from them, and I took a year of business at CNC, and kind of decided I wanted to go down the fitness avenue of things. So I went and did my CanFit certification, and the first group I worked with, it was a smaller group. They were bantam aged, so it was around when my brother was in bantam. So it was guys that he had been playing with. I maybe started with about 4 guys, and I trained with them for the summer, and I helped
Mm-hmm.
them out. And then based on their success the following season, it just it's grown from there, and it's grown ever since. So yeah, it's been good. And then this year, obviously, it was exciting to get on with Caribou as their trainer. And unfortunately, due to the circumstances, we can't do much team training right now, but it was really neat to work with all these different athletes and everything, and have them trust me and Trevor trust me in working with them. So hopefully things near the end of March get sorted out, and we can get them back to work here.
That's awesome. So I kind of want to go back a little bit to your time playing with the program. Trevor coached you. What impact did Trevor have on you as not only just a younger player, but as a hockey player and as an individual?
Trevor was actually pretty good. Like Trevor Trevor's really detailed in systems and like his structure for the overall program. So I learned a lot in regards to like positioning, certain forechecks, things that in the past, like, as minor hockey, you don't get as much ice time.
Right.
So coaches don't have enough time to go over through that. And then video was new to me then too. So he went over lots of video and the staff went over lots of video. So it was like, I find like nowadays people are visual learners, so it's a lot easier. Like if you see yourself making those mistakes, video definitely helps critique those things because you see it in person. They can show you the placement where you're supposed to be, and it's a tool like us as coaches we all use now. And just like the structure of the whole program was unbelievable. Just how we all went to the same school. He did a really good job of keeping us all close. And I mean, lots of those guys I played with the 2 years I was with the Caribou program, I still keep in touch with. I mean, that was probably, I think 2011, 2012 was the tightest group I've ever played with. Like, I remember losing in the finals to the Giants, and we were more upset that the season was over than the second place finish. Like, that's just how tight the group was. So that was definitely one of my most memorable seasons for sure. And I credit Trevor a lot for that, and just the rest of the staff, and just how great of a job they did bringing that team together and pulling us together to make that push.
Nope, that's really good. And so, as a player that's played here in the North, and you've experienced it, how important is the Caribou Hockey Program to hockey players here in Northern BC?
Oh, it's an awesome avenue to go through. Like, we're doing a really good job of getting the appropriate resources here for keeping our players in the North. I know that academies didn't play a big impact then. Well, they did, but not as big as they do now. Like now there's so many of them, and there's so many other options for players to go. But like in the North, right, I just don't see there being any sense in taking off and leaving your family at such a young age. I think we've got it all here. I think Trevor's done a pretty good job of making sure that these kids have the best opportunities possible. They have the best staff, and lots of guys who've trusted the program and been a part of it, and they can help these players, right? There's a lot of good role models he has on his staff, and a lot of good experience, and guys who've been coaching for years and played the games at high level, and good mentors for all these players. So I mean, I think it's huge for the North, and I like that we've got all these other teams now. Like before, it was just the major midget. Now we got our major bantam, our minors, the major midget, the capitals, and it's so cool to see how much it's grown, and how like skilled and good at hockey these players are overall now.
No, that's definitely true. And being being the fitness trainer, you get to see your kind of your teachings and your workings with these players come to fruition. How rewarding does that feel?
Oh, it's awesome. Like it's so exciting when you work with a player all summer and they're dedicated to you and dedicated to their goals, and like watching them attain their goals is like the most rewarding part of it all, honestly. Like when you help push a guy to that next level, and he's put in that work all summer, and he's been pretty demoted to making that jump, and he attains that goal, it's awesome. And like during the summer, there's like Steve and Nick Jozenovic, they do an awesome job with their skills and on ice stuff for the summer. So I mean, we don't lack anything here in the North when it comes through the fall to end of summer, right? There's a lot of good coaches here, and lots of good people that help push these guys on through the next level. I think we produce quite a bit of good talent. Sorry for the how small the region really is. So I mean, I know that a lot of coaches like the northern players, the style they play. They're not as high maintenance. No offense to any of those other guys, but I remember chatting to a scout a couple of years back, and he said like a lot of the teams down south, they love love northern players because you can bring them on a bus for 8 hours and play later that night, and it doesn't really seem to phase them, where other players aren't accustomed to that type of travel, and they have that so-called bus legs and they start off a little slow, right? So he
Yeah.
said he loves getting northern guys, and they adapt well to to everything around them.
No, that's awesome. And it's interesting, right? With the northern players, it's a different breed, right? Like watching players that come through the north, you can tell a player comes from the north just by how they play on the ice and just their, no can do attitude, eh?
Yeah, they're definitely a little more gritty sometimes for sure, and they have a combination of that skill and good hockey IQ from what they've been taught. So we do a pretty good job at producing well-rounded players, I feel like, and um, yeah, I'm really happy with like you've seen that plaque on the wall outside the Caribou dressing room, and
Yeah.
all the names that they've had throughout the years go on that wall there.
No, it's really cool. And so being a player that's come through the program, with your current career path, being able to use that to give back, how important is it for players that have gone through the program to be able to come back and basically be an influence in the next generation?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing some pretty cool things with the alumni, like all the Zoom calls, right? And it's kind of cool for these current players to hear the alumni stories and what they've went through and their experiences. And um I like how how like everyone's kind of chose a different career path, right? Hockey didn't work out for some, and some guys have been, there's a lot of success in regards to human beings that have come through, like in regards to jobs or careers. Now it's pretty cool to see.
And I mean, Dan Hamm, you guys actually had a Zoom call with him. He's not a Caribou hockey alumni, but definitely from the north. How cool is it to be on a call with him?
Oh, I wasn't a part of that call, but I mean,
Oh, dang, you
I'm
missed
sure
out.
for, yeah, I definitely did. But I mean, I'm sure for those guys, it's probably pretty cool to hear his story and how he came through Smithers and the impact he made playing in the NHL. He was a pretty key player for those teams he played for, and I know that a lot of those teams he played for, they relied on him. So I mean, it's pretty cool that a guy like that worked so hard to reach the goals he did.
No, for sure. And so, Chase, you mentioned that you went to business school for a year and you got into being a fitness trainer. So you've been able to brand yourself as Chase Astorino Athletics. How's that going, and where do you hope to take that?
It's going pretty well right now. We've just gotten to another location here, so it's exciting for our athletes. I mean, I'll be able to do a lot more with them and kind of expand what they can do. Before we're a little limited, right? But I mean, with that going the direction it has, I mean, I'm hoping that I can definitely do a lot more things with the program and other hockey programs here in town. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for, is to mainly target the hockey world here in town and
Mhm.
be able to work with a lot of our players, and I mean, a lot of the training's tailored towards their on ice performance, right? So I think that's what kind of separates me from other trainers. I know there's a lot of other trainers here in town that do a great job, so it means a lot when I get a text or an email in regards to having a kid come through that gym. So I mean, I feel my hockey background has definitely helped me a lot with that. And I'll be honest, a lot of the athletes that I do work with are hockey players. So
Mhm.
it's been exciting to, even though, I mean, I didn't pursue the game as far as I wanted to, that I can try and help these other hockey players locally here in town try and try and attain the goals they want to.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Chase, for taking your time out this evening to join me, and thank you for your well thought out answers.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for having me, Tyler. I appreciate you taking the time to do this interview with me. It means a lot.
Yeah, no, thanks for coming on, and we'll definitely do this again sometime.
Yeah, you bet. I'll chat to you later, buddy.
Yeah, cheers.
See you.